Now, we've spent a lot of time with Katie Price here, and we've seen at first hand just how much of an amazing mom she is to all her kids. And a few weeks ago, millions of others got to witness her very special bond with her 18-year-old son, Harvey, in the documentary Katie Price, Harvey and Me, as she set about finding a residential college for Harvey to move into.
Oh, we love him.
Katie, so honestly, Katie, your ears must have been ringing this morning. We have done nothing but talk about that documentary and about you and about Harvey and the absolutely beautiful relationship that the two of you have. He is witty, he is warm, he has such innocence, he's a hard worker, he's an incredible human being, and the relationship between you was really a joy. We've all said that.
Yeah.
A joy to watch.
Aww.
Now, we, of course, know you, Katie. We know what you're like behind here, and we always say that to everyone. You don't know Katie, she's fantastic. What has the response been like from people that have watched this?
Do you know what? It's actually been amazing. And I think because people have judged me as a person in the media and stuff, and you know what the media's like, and I've always said that. But I think in the documentary, it doesn't matter what job I do, that's stripped back. It's literally a journey with a mother and their son with complex needs. He's turned 18 and trying to find the next best thing that's best for him, you know, to transition into a college, the difficulties of it. And just literally, it's a very calming documentary, although Harvey's not always calm in it, as you could probably see with that clip. But it just goes to show the connection we have, and how, just the connection we have and how hard it is. And hopefully it was educational to people. That I am just a real person and I am just a mum with a child that has all these complex needs. And now everyone's like, can you do a part 2? So it looks like we're going to do a part 2 now, because people want to know what college, how, you know, it happened, you know, what happens, the journey, basically. And if he does his announcement thing at the trains, that's been a massive thing.
Well, we were saying this morning, you know, just he's so like you, isn't he? Like when he walks, we were talking about when he walks into school. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
baby. Didn't you? You loved it, didn't you?
Yeah. And when do you find out about his college, Katie?
It's supposed to be March, but I did want to look at some other colleges. Not that I didn't like that. I think National Start is amazing. But just as a mum, because I know you could do virtual tours of colleges, or it's like when you go to a restaurant or you want to look at a house, you could do virtual tours. But I think it's important that you visit, because then you get a different feel and you can see things with a different eye and a different perspective.
Yeah, we see you talking to other mums with children with complex needs, and I found that... Yeah. At points, I found that so upsetting. I really did last night. And some of the stuff...
So I've known them for ages.
And some of the stuff you were having to hear and maybe come to terms with, you were told that there was a chance that Harvey could be sectioned and all this stuff. And I could see that the absolute importance for you to visit all these places, to get your gut instinct, because you say throughout the programme, you know Harvey so well. And you know, you can tell immediately. We see that in one of the colleges where you're going and you're out of there so fast, aren't you? But also it really highlighted to me how difficult it is with people with children with additional needs, getting the funding, getting the right place. You were talking about this morning.
Yeah, Kate, I was wondering, because so many people who will have watched the documentary will also have children with additional needs, and this pandemic has just been so excruciatingly difficult for these people, and I just was wondering how you've coped through the pandemic with Harvey and what comfort you can bring to other parents in a similar position.
Yeah, first of all, I'll go on to some of your points. This when they mentioned the sectioning, unfortunately, there's over 2,000 people with autism who have been sectioned, and people have to remember that autism isn't a mental health. And once you're in that system, it could take up to 5 years to get you out. And that really frightened me when I heard that, because I could not imagine Harvey being put in a room. Because if you'd put Harvey in a room, he wouldn't understand why he's in the room. So obviously he's going to kick off and he'll look aggressive and abusive, when really you just need to know how to talk to him. That is something I really want to look into, because there's so many families out there at the moment who are having to deal with that. And it's tragic. It really is. The other thing, if there's any parents out there, who are in the same situation as me about looking for colleges, I would start a year before, because there's so many forms that you have to fill out, and their educational plan is so important to fill out. So remember that the educational plan is important, because that basically says everything about your child, and it is read. And then the funding comes from obviously whatever area you're in. And a lot of people say, well, you've got the money, why can't you do it? What you've got to remember, it's not about me. Harvey's 18, he's an adult, this is what he's entitled to. And for God forbid, if something ever happened to me, I have to know everything's in place for Harvey. So I'm his power of attorney. And that's another thing people have to realise when your child gets to 18, because he wouldn't understand to fill out forms. So that's another thing I had to learn. I'm the power of attorney. I have to sign and have the say on everything. He can't. So there's so many issues, and it's not something you can rush.
There's so much for you, and what really came across in the programme was that you also are having to let go, aren't you, and go through this transition. Oh. And he's actually now living opposite to you, is that right, to start off this chain? Yeah.
So what I've done, because I really don't want to upset Harvey, and transitional, you have to do slowly, and I want it to be fun for him there now. And it's so important. So now he's in the house opposite, obviously not on his own, and I'm there as well. I've got cameras everywhere. He uses his iPad. Obviously I'm there all the time as well, but it gives him his own space, independency, to start learning independent skills, which he has the right to do. And he's absolutely loving it, because I fill it up with all his shower gels, his deodorant. It's just his independence. And I think he's actually lost weight, because wherever he's in the actual household, it's like I've said to you girls before, he's quite disruptive in the night. He'll go in the cupboards, eat the food, because that's his Prada Willies. Whereas at that house, I don't put anything in the cupboards that he can get. So he can't have a snack in the night, because there's nothing there for him to snack. So I think he has lost weight. Obviously, not all the doors are banging. There's not all the chaos noise. So he's calm there. Whereas in the house, he'll headbutt the walls, as you saw in the documentary. Yeah. He'll kick off, like headbutts or punches the walls. And there, it's just calming for him, and it's helping him make that transitional move. Yeah, see what I mean with them doors. Yeah. I'm used to that. And
Kaye, a few years ago, we saw firsthand how Harvey can kick off. We were doing a photo shoot, and we had to spray paint all over ourselves, and a few brought the kids down. Yeah. You brought Harvey along because you were taking him to the hospital afterwards, and he was happy as anything sitting there. And I think he asked for a croissant, and there wasn't a croissant there. There was cakes and biscuits and sandwiches and everything, but there wasn't what he wanted. And then all of a sudden, he tipped the table up and threw his laptop and everything. And we saw you go over to him really calmly and say, Harvey, look at me, that is not acceptable. And he calmed down straight away, didn't he? It's like knowing, you know him so well, you know exactly what to do.
And that's the other thing, like in the programme, I didn't show him having a full meltdown, because one, it can be disturbing to watch if you're not used to it, but two, I didn't want to do that for Harvey. There's enough to show that he's challenging, and it wasn't about exposing Harvey. It was more a journey of a mother and son transitioning on what to do, because I had no idea, and I'm still learning more now. But yeah, I done like a live stereo live just before I came on here, and I risked doing this like podcast thing for Harvey for 40 minutes. I didn't know how it would go, and I'm glad I did it. Well, you know what Harvey is like. It was raw and uncensored. And people can ask questions, and people were coming in asking him questions, and he was answering them on his own. Just to show, just because you've got autism doesn't mean to say you can't have a conversation. Even though I was thinking, oh my God, Harvey, please don't swear, don't do this. But he was actually very good.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's another thing. Oh yeah, sorry. I was going to say,
do you want to go?
It doesn't,
Kaye.
It doesn't matter. Oh God, I'm sorry.
No,
it's the delay. It's hard sometimes. Go on, Kaye.
Oh no. Oh, Kaye.
Kaye, not Kaye. Gee, the Scottish one.
Yeah, go on.
No, I just wanted to say, Katie, I mean, when I watched the programme and finished it, my overwhelming feeling was that's a love story. Yeah, it was just a lovely, beautiful love story between you and your son. And obviously we can see that there are challenges for both of you. But what is the joy of your relationship with Harvey?
I think with Harvey, it's very rewarding. It can be challenging at times, but people have got to remember, I don't know any different. I had him when basically my career started. So he's been with me through everything. And we just know each other so well. And that's one thing that coming to terms with knowing. I know he goes to college, like school now. It's only an hour away. But these colleges are like 4 hours away. And to me, it's like, oh, my God, he's going. But I have to say to myself, Kate, he's not gone forever. You can still see him. You communicate with him. And I can't be selfish and think I want him at home with me. But it's like any parent out there, you just hope they care for him or care for them the way you do. But, like, he can still communicate with me. He's got his iPad. So it's not like he's being taken off me forever. But it's still that thing that any parent goes through. Knowing that even if their son or, you know, daughter or whatever hasn't got complex needs, it's the next step when they do leave home or they do go to college. It's that anxiety you get, like, oh my God, my baby's gone. What am I going to do? And I've got to go through that 5 times. 5 times I've got to go through that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There'll be plenty of people identifying with that. Listen,